Hello, everybody, and welcome to another flaming hot
That like
fuego
that's
episode of the
the
Chocolate Bros podcast.
that's the level above scintillating. I can't wait to hear what you've got in mind for this episode, Adam. Wow.
I'm saying flaming hot as if it's a good thing, but really, if you're in the middle of a blazing inferno, your prospects are not looking good.
That's right. You wanna try to avoid actual open flame looking at your clothes. That's
It's a
that's
metaphor. Flaming hot, piquant, spicy episode of the Chocolate Bros podcast. You're here with Brian and Adam.
I'm Brian. He's Adam. We are the Chocolate Bros.
We own Fortunato Chocolate. Check us out at www. I like to say W like www. Fortunato Chocolate American FortunatoChocolate.com. We've been in the chocolate business for, I guess, about 15 years now. It's
I like how
surprising.
I like how you threw in there that we're the owners, lest anybody think that we're just a couple of cashiers that decided to piggyback on the success of the boss's company and do a podcast. No, we are.
Yeah, I'm the warehouse manager.
Exactly. And I'm just a box picker.
Brian's a forklift driver.
Yep.
And this is the Chocolate Bros podcast. We're out here pretending to be brothers who own a chocolate business. But
that's
actually,
right.
Some other guys own it. We do the podcast in the name
that's
of
right.
the company.
And we're not brothers. I don't even know this guy. I barely know this guy.
Yeah. So please check out, all that being said, please check out www.fortunatochocolate.com. I think we got something like 3,000 or 4,000 5-star reviews on there, which is unbelievable because we were wholesalers of chocolate for most of the time we've been in business and never knew who was eating it and what they thought about it. So thank you. If you're a customer and you're listening to this, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You have no idea how much a good review means to us. So thank you.
Yeah, we do. I just want to say, and as the person who has to respond to reviews that are either indifferent or negative, a lot of those are kind of like we've all seen this before. You go online, you look at the reviews. Some of the bad reviews are just unfair. They're talking about something that the post office did or the UPS did, or the chocolate melted because they ordered and it's 98 degrees and we have a big warning up there about heat, etc. And then there's people that just are giving an honest opinion that the chocolate wasn't for them. Thankfully, there's very, very few of those. And then there's the vast majority, 96% or something, that are just letting us know how much they love our product. And we just couldn't be more appreciative. The fact that you're letting other people know that they can rely on what we're putting out there is so important to us and so gratifying. And we just appreciate it, not from a business perspective only, but also just from a personal perspective of we love that you're loving our stuff. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Talking about the bad review that's maybe unfair. It's kind of like if you go on Amazon to buy a book and somebody leaves a 1-star review because the book was in bad shape when it showed up. Right. You're not leaving a bad review for the book itself. You're leaving a bad review for the logistics that got the book to your doorstep.
Yeah. Essentially, we've got people leaving bad reviews for the sun right now.
And we have huge messages online saying if it's not cool enough where you live, just don't. We prefer that you not order.
Providing specific temperatures and talking about the fact that we use ground shipping and that we don't warrant, and exactly why we don't use thermal packaging, because it's ecologically disastrous and it doesn't really work for ground shipping. Like, we've pretty well explained it. And of course, some people just genuinely miss it, honestly miss that verbiage and don't see it. And that's just a misunderstanding. And I get that, but my goodness, and also we don't control the UPS, everybody. I just want to put it out there.
Yeah.
Control the UPS.
And also, I will say this for anybody who might be listening, although if they're hearing this, they definitely are listening. There's no might be about it. So
kind of by definition, yeah.
Because if they might be listening, I might be talking. All right, we're getting a little esoteric.
Let's not get too meta within 6 minutes.
We're getting too meta. If you just flat out did not like the chocolate, you thought you were going to like it, but you didn't like it, and you promise us it showed up in good shape and it wasn't weather damaged, we have a 100% money back satisfaction guarantee.
Fair enough. It's not for everybody. We love it. Almost everybody loves it. But if you don't love it, let us
give you a refund.
We'll refund it.
We'll refund it
because we want you to get value for your money. We're not trying to stick anybody with something they don't like here.
Yeah, and buying a new product there's some risk to it. right?
Sure.
You're trying something new. You already know what you like.
Right.
That's the thing you usually get. And you're going to try something new. We understand there's risk to it. So it's only fair that we eat part of the risk to try to get you to try out something new. So that's fine.
Just like you are going to eat that chocolate, we're going to eat the risk.
We'll eat part of the risk.
Part of the risk.
No,
that's
wait.
Right.
No, we're eating.
It's 100%. If somebody orders a bar of chocolate and they just try it, don't like it, and this happens, it's rare, but this happens, and they write back and they just say, Brian, I'm really sorry. It wasn't for me. I didn't think that it was as special as you and almost all of your customers think. It's just my honest opinion. My only response is going to be, hey, thank you so much for trying it. We appreciate it. Let me refund your money. You weren't satisfied. We're not interested in having an unsatisfied customer. But for those of you who are like sending us a 1-star review because the UPS left it in the flower bed next to the front door, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. That was not my doing. I don't control the UPS driver. That guy probably was having a bad day. Maybe stepped on a Lego. His kid left Legos.
Yeah.
Stepped on one of those.
And so he's just throwing stuff in flower beds.
He's upset. He's tossing the chocolate in the flower bed. I don't know why he did that. I wish he didn't. I wish he didn't. And at the end, and the other part of that is, if you just let me know, we'll file a claim with UPS. They'll refund us the money, and we'll send you out a replacement.
We'll do it. Yeah, we will absolutely do that. And honestly, most of the guys I've met who work for UPS are pretty solid guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, UPS is a pretty good company. I like those guys.
Yeah. It's certainly. We're not going to revisit a whole disaster scenario, but it's certainly they're doing a lot better job than the post office these days. That's
all right. This gives me 2 solid segues for what I wanted to talk to you about today.
Excellent. Let's do it.
And I'm not talking to anybody else about this today, just you.
Well, because
it's for you.
We're the only 2 on the Zoom call. So
I know, but I'm going to be talking to other people later, but I'm not going to discuss this topic with them.
I love the fact that you're not multitasking, Adam. You're focused on me, and I appreciate your attention.
Yeah, but when I go to the shop later,
yes,
I'm not going to rehash this with anybody else. This is just me and you. This is just for us.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
Should we even air this? Maybe this should just be a private conversation and not even publish it as a podcast. What do you think?
Let's wait till we get to the end, and then we'll decide what to do.
We'll decide in post when we do all the editing that we normally do.
So you were talking about reviews.
Yes.
All right. Anytime because I'm somebody I obsess about the reviews. I go online and read all the reviews, and I take them back to the kitchen and show them to our chocolatier Javier and the production team. Because if there's somebody who had a problem, I want our team to know it so they can continuously improve the products.
Do you yell at them a little bit? You'd be like, "Hey, everybody, we got a 2-star review. It says unacceptable." Make them
just go ahead and shut it down and go home for the day. Go home and think about it.
Put them in a stress position. Make them squat, and just hold a squat for like 30 minutes. That's what you should do.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, go home. I want you to think about this. We'll see you again tomorrow. Actually,
that old one. I want you to think about what.
Well, hey, coach sends you to the locker room. All right, guys, hit the locker room. We're done.
Hit the locker room. I want you to think about your performance.
Yeah, you guys don't even deserve to be out here on this field today. So just go. Just get out of my face. No, I would never do that. Actually, the production team, they are extremely conscientious individuals, and they appreciate getting the feedback because they really want to just make people happy. They take a lot of pride.
Absolutely. And I do the same thing. If I get an email of somebody saying I had a specific issue with a specific product, I take it over to the production crew. I let them know, because we need to know. We're not striving for perfection, but we're striving for constant improvement and excellence in everything we do.
We care.
We want to know. We want to know.
We care. So anytime I see there's a new review, I always get a little heart flutter.
Me too.
I always get a little, I hope this is going to be good. Gosh, I hope they're going to say something good. And when they do say something good, it makes me feel pretty awesome. And I never get tired of it. Yesterday, so here's the UPS connection.
Yes.
Yesterday, Leo, who is our UPS driver in Issaquah, who comes and picks up, came into the shop, and we gave him a taste of the new strawberry soft serve.
Oh my gosh, I had it for the first time yesterday as well.
I did too, and you didn't have the vanilla. The vanilla is beautiful too.
Yeah,
but you'll be tasting it tomorrow probably.
Should we preface this by saying that we have a retail store in Issaquah, Washington? We have 2 actually. One doubles as a production kitchen and facility, and the other one is purely a retail point of sale. It's right near the REI and the BECU, the Boeing Credit Union, in the Gilman Plaza Shopping Center on Gilman Avenue in Issaquah. And because it's called the Issaquah Commons. Isco Commons, that's right. And because it's getting warmer, and normally we we sell chocolate, we give away free hot chocolate, and we're near Seattle and it's fairly cool most of the year. But now we're getting into the warmer months. We want to offer something refreshing for those warmer months. So as giveaways, we have frozen bananas dipped in chocolate, either milk or dark chocolate, and we're going to be selling a new product which is soft serve ice cream based on our flavors. Topped with our products. And these are the prototype soft serve ice cream flavors that you had Leo and myself sample yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. And we've never made soft serve before. We bought a mix. We bought a mix that we consider to be a high quality mix with good ingredients. We researched the company. We've actually worked with the company before. The company that makes a soft serve mix is also our marshmallow supplier that we use for some of our products.
Oh, that old trope, marshmallow and soft serve mix. I mean, what more hackneyed
can we get some innovation, please?
Combination is there in the business world? I mean, we get it. Marshmallows and soft serve mix. Okay.
Come on, vegan foods in Chicago, Illinois. We're talking to you.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So they sent us the mix, high quality ingredients, but we just were not satisfied with the mix. Now you could easily take a mix and dump it in the machine. All you have to do is add water, and that'd be that. And we could have vanilla. And you mentioned with vanilla soft serve right off the bat.
You mentioned vegan. Am I to understand that there is no dairy? There's no dairy in the basis for
the soft serve is vegan, similar to the marshmallows. We didn't actually choose the marshmallows because they were vegan marshmallows. They just were good. And likewise, now that we're working with this company, they're one of our suppliers. We know them. We believe in them. And when we analyzed the soft serve mix, we thought it fit in with our philosophy on ingredients.
Yeah. And I think that there's something to mention there really quick. I'll let you get on with it, but just that we're not really neither you nor I are vegan. And I'm not aware of any vegans on our production team or anything like that. But we know that there's a lot of people, my wife, for example, that are lactose intolerant or just don't care to eat animal products. We want them to have a chance to get after this stuff as well. And so it's not that we're sort of pushing a vegan agenda or anything like that, but we just felt like for the quality, for the texture, for the flavor, and to make sure that everybody's able to come in and enjoy it, we thought a vegan base would be a great thing to offer.
And in general, most of our ingredients are organic when the price makes sense and when it's an ingredient that really needs to be organic. Somebody came in and was talking to us about peanuts in the United States, and she asked me, are the peanuts organic? Because she was convinced that peanuts are highly exposed to chemicals, and in fact, we do use organic peanuts for that exact reason. So, anyways, we'll go vegan sometimes. Our dark chocolate is vegan. Our dark chocolate has no soy, so people with vegan and with soy allergies can eat a whole bunch of our products, including dark chocolate covered marshmallows. So. The marshmallows have soy, but they can eat the dark chocolate, and then vegan people can eat the marshmallows. All right.
Let's just be clear. For those who have soy issues, that we're excluding you. We're putting you right out there. No, sir.
But they can eat our dark chocolate.
I'd prefer they didn't. But that's a sideline.
You don't need soy? Beat it.
Get out of here, buddy.
Hit the locker room.
Take a hike.
Yeah. So we bought the mix, we tried the mix, but we weren't that satisfied. Now we could have, like I was saying, we could have just, with the flavor, with the ingredients, we were satisfied, but we just thought we could vastly improve upon the flavor. We could have just dumped that in the machine with some water, and we could have launched the very next day. We could have had the machine in the mix. We could be out there pumping vanilla ice cream, or vanilla soft serve the next day. But Javier and the team over there, they just don't play that. They don't. No. They will not do that. And I remember when we first started experimenting with the mix, I walked in and I was excited. Say, hey, you guys get the machine? Yeah. Did you get the mix? We got it. Did you try it? And everybody's just Debbie Downers, like, yeah, we tried it, but I don't know. We just don't think it's going to work out. We just don't think it's going to work out. And I tasted it, and it was just too sweet, and it wasn't creamy enough. It just wasn't good enough for us to put our name on it. So we've been working on refining the recipe for several weeks, trying different flavors. So we've done lucuma, which is a famous Peruvian flavor. We've done strawberry, chocolate.
Lucuma,
coconut.
we should just mention, is a fruit that grows in the jungle regions of Peru, has a really subtle, not that sweet, just delicious, hard to describe, but a wonderful fruit flavor. That's
likely the most popular ice cream flavor in Peru.
Correct. And yogurt. Yep.
Yeah. And delicious. We're going to make lucuma. We have lucuma paste. We can
Mhm.
make it. I mean, it's no problem.
Mhm.
So after several weeks of experimentation, we came up with a vanilla that we're happy with. We can do chocolate, but we're not gonna start with chocolate because we can only really start with two flavors. And
Mhm.
then we have strawberry, and the strawberry is made with real strawberries. And you went over there and tasted the strawberry, and you came
So
back and told me it was phenomenal.
I walked in yesterday to the shop and I needed to talk to Javier about something, deliver some things over there, take some packages over to the post office because we still get some folks that only can receive in PO boxes that we have to send through the postal service rather than UPS. And I walked in and I saw this big machine. I thought, oh yeah, the soft serve machine. Adam's been telling me about the soft serve machine. And Javier came over and he said, "Hey, would you like to try these samples?" I said, "Oh wow, it's working. You have samples." And and I should mention, you had mentioned vanilla. I'm just not that big of a vanilla fan. Vanilla just doesn't really float my boat. It's nothing special to me, but I know that the magic is going to be in the toppings, our products that are going to be the toppings on top of the vanilla. So I was looking forward to just getting the flavor of it. And he said, "No vanilla today. We have strawberry and chocolate." I thought strawberry, and I thought that this was going to be a pre-made strawberry product, that it was going to just be that kind of weird chemically strawberry. It's simply going to be a foundation for for crumbled toppings. I put the strawberry in the little taster cup in the Ramakun. I picked it up. It was not that at all. This was magnificent. And I'm not the biggest strawberry ice cream fan. I mean, that honestly, strawberry is like a flavor that my 8-year-old son likes more than me. This strawberry was phenomenal. It was right off the charts. I couldn't stop. I just wanted more of it before I even put any toppings on it. It was so
And then with the
good.
toppings, you're just at another level.
Honestly, I didn't know strawberry soft serve could
And
taste like that.
and
It's that good.
the vanilla soft serve is delicious too.
My
It's
gosh,
rich.
I believe you because I wouldn't have believed about the strawberry. The chocolate was delicious. Honestly, even as standalones, they're great. And then when you start adding products on top of them, boy, oh boy. I mean, I should be a fan because I'm the one selling it. But those are great products. Really,
Yeah,
really
and that's yeah,
worthy of being in the store.
yeah, and we got another machine on the way, and then on the other machine, we're gonna do more exotic, probably Peruvian flavors.
Mhm.
And we just wanted the two standard flavors to start because that's what people are used to. So we're just gonna start with vanilla and strawberry. But so
Now,
I had
I just want to throw an idea out
yeah,
there, Adam, and I know I'm an idea guy, as you
yeah.
know.
Oh, you're a found. You're a found of great ideas.
Traditional Peruvian flavor. I just want to throw this hat in the ring. Cuy, guinea pig flavored ice cream.
Oh,
Yeah. It's going to be fantastic. I mean, nothing really tastes like it. It's really Peruvian centric. I just think it's going to be a big hit.
yeah. I think maybe when we get to maybe like our sixth or our seventh machine,
Mm-hmm.
then we consider the cool. You know,
Cuy,
once we really
ceviche ice
yeah,
cream.
but yeah,
That's
once
gonna be,
that's
yeah,
really when we're getting deep into
Mhm.
experimental
Okay.
flavors. We'll
All right.
work on that. We'll put those on
I'm
the
will-
back burner.
I'm willing to be patient.
No, you're an idea man. Right, so I don't want to stifle the flow of ideas. That's good. These are good. Keep the ideas coming.
Absolutely.
We can't help it anyways
Mhm.
because they're always bubbling up. Yeah, they're always
That's
bubbling
correct.
up and out.
But up and
First-
I can't.
First they
can't
bubble
frankly
up,
can't
then they
stop
bubble
myself.
out.
That's right.
That's the nature of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
First they bubble up and then they're out. So all right, so I knew after you told me that I went over and tried the strawberry. Just everything you said true, and I already knew it was going to be good because the vanilla was good, and now I'm realizing with the vanilla and the strawberry how creamy they are, how good the texture is. Javier's always good at balance. We can make any flavor now. So we know how to make and this is our own recipe. We know how to make soft serve with our own recipe, and basically we can make any flavor we want now, which is pretty rad because we're not an ice cream we're a chocolate company that we just wanted to do this and we figured it out, and now it's a thing we can do,
Right.
which is
And
so
so
sweet.
There's a couple things. First off, all chocolate companies have a highly seasonal business. People just tend to eat more chocolate in the colder months of the year. So a lot of chocolate companies like ourselves are looking for other ways to get their product out there to keep foot traffic coming and online traffic coming during the warmer months. And so what we were looking for is something that would be refreshing, great on a hot day, something that's family friendly, that everybody loves, that's universal, but that also features our products and our chocolate. And so that was the basis of the idea of let's take our products and put them on top of ice cream. So you might not want, a whole bar of chocolate during the summer, but if you take that bar and crumble it up, and put the crumbled bits on top of some really delicious ice cream. It's a great way to enjoy our products and have something refreshing that's apter for the, for the summer months, and especially that brings those kids in. I mean, we have a never-ending parade of little kids that are coming in for that hot chocolate in the winter, and we want them to leave just as happy in the summer. And this is a great way to accomplish
For sure. So
yeah.
I had already tasted it before Leo from UPS. Bringing it back to Leo from UPS. Before,
By the way, Leo, great guy. Great guy. Yeah.
Great guy. Yeah.
Couldn't be happier with Leo.
Yeah, wonderful guy. I already knew the soft serve was good, but I was still nervous to have him taste it because I really
Is he the first outsider to taste it?
We've had a couple.
Leo's like kind of an insider.
Yeah, he was the first. He kind of is, but Leo's kind of a tough crowd too. He's Ukrainian. He's a straight shooter.
That's
and he'll
right.
tell you he'll tell you if he doesn't like something.
Leo doesn't suffer bad ice cream quietly. Absolutely not.
No, and he tells you straight up. He's like, nah, this is not really my thing. But he really liked it. Then we had a couple of customers who came all the way from Pennsylvania. They're on a road trip.
Oh, these Pennsylvanians. The only thing worse than these Ukrainians are these Pennsylvanians.
You're wrong about that. I think people from Pennsylvania are the sweetest people I've ever seen. So they said that Penn State is the #1 ice cream engineering college in the country, and they know, because there's so much dairy in Pennsylvania, and they said that they know good ice cream, and they said that was really good. They really
that's great to hear.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that, about Pennsylvania and about Penn State, but that's wonderful that people that know the business came in and gave some positive.
So now here's the point I'm trying to make. All of this has been a setup for this point that I'm going to make now. Then I got another example of it.
Ooh, it's a big buildup. Shoot it to me, Adam.
Yeah. We're spinning a yarn here. We're rolling it out slowly. So even though I knew it was good, I still was really nervous about if people would like it or not.
That's how it is. Like we have taste buds. You know it's good, but it's always
I know. And so same thing. Even though we have something like 1,700 5-star reviews for a particular product. Every single time I see a new one, it still makes me nervous. I hope this one's good. Even though I know it probably is, it's still, I want each one to be good. All right. Now bear with me. Last night we go to a Bible study once a week. And last night Isaiah stood up and did like a reading in front of about
Isaiah, your 10 or 11.
My 10-year-old son. My
10-year-old son. Yep.
Stood up and read a Bible passage in front of about 100 people in Spanish, because we go to a Spanish language meeting. And he's done this like 10 times before. But before he was going to get up, he really had the jitters. And I'm going to be going to a piano recital where both of my kids are going to be playing this afternoon. And they are both pretty nervous about it, even though they've practiced and they know the songs.
Sure.
Then I talked to like one of the elders in this congregation, who's a guy who gives up and gives like sermons every single week. And he's been doing it for the last 25 years. And I asked him, you get nervous before you have to get up and give a talk? And he said, every single time.
I would think so, yeah.
Every single time.
Sure.
And so the interesting thing is, no matter kind of like how good you get at something, you still get nervous every single time you have to do it. Isn't that weird?
It is, and no matter how good it is. I just was in Peru with a documentary crew, not our crew, a client of ours, filming a documentary that includes a section about ours. And I know how compelling our the reality of our situation in the Peruvian jungle is. The cacao farmers, Don Fortunato Noé, the president of the association, our processing facility, the landscape. But even I've taken hundreds of people there before, but even knowing all that, knowing how compelling and amazing it is, and that everything we say is absolutely spot on, it's real. You can go there and check it out. Having these people come in, I was like, oh God, are they going to find this as enchanting as I do? Are they going to think? Are they going to like this? Is Don Fortunato as great as I think he is? You start to doubt because, gosh, you start to doubt your own perceptions. But
it's weird.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, the people who read the emails that I write, I'm right now, I'm going to be trying to write 1,000 in a row. So today will be like my 333rd day in a row. I'm almost have done a whole year without missing a single day. I am every time I have to hit send. We've got like 45,000 people on this list, and probably between 10 and 15,000 people a day open up the email and read it, which is a lot. To my mind, probably not for Kim Kardashian, who has like 1 billion Instagram followers or something. But even though I've done it like so many days in a row, every day is just just terrifies me, man. That someone's gonna send me an email just like, "What are you doing, you jerk? This stinks." Or
Yeah.
even though we've been in the chocolate business for 15 years, and I'm trying to track back, where do you think that comes from? Is it that you're scared of being judged? Is it because you really just want people to be happy, so you're just trying to please people? Why do you think it is that somebody keeps getting nervous like that?
I mean, I still feel it too. I'm a fairly accomplished public speaker. I can do it. I've spoken to as many as hundreds of people before, in Spanish and in English.
Mhm.
And I gotta say, even though I've done it before and I always get a great response, and I've been told and feel like I'm fairly competent at it. Before going up there, every time it's your heart's beating out of your chest and your throat feels dry and you don't know how it's going to be received. And I don't know what it is. I have to imagine that there's some kind of benefit in feeling that way.
That's interesting.
That in the same sense that from a biological perspective, most of what we do sort of has a benefit to the ongoing, survival of the species. There must be some benefit that comes from that feeling of nervousness that drives us to that. I can't explain it.
No, that's interesting. And I just, if I put myself in Javier's shoes, he's made all these products that all these people are eating all the time.
Yeah.
He must sometimes just be a wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
just thinking
so.
like, oh, God, I hope people like this. Like, I made it. I think it's awesome. God, I hope people like it.
Javier's is, he's definitely got some psychopathic tendencies. He might just not be the kind of guy who never gets nervous. He might be a complete psychopath. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't
know.
No,
I know he's not. He's a wonderful.
I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, but so maybe.
What? So okay.
Maybe the chemicals and the hormones and stuff.
Pain is something none of us would choose to feel, and we don't like it, but it serves a very valuable purpose. When you're doing something that's harmful to your body, the pain is purely internally generated. It's a series of electrical impulses sent from nerve endings to your brain, which it then interprets. And there are people that can't interpret those signals and don't feel pain, no matter what's happening with their body. But it has the biological imperative of having you not do the thing that's causing harm to your physical structure. And so I have to imagine that nervousness that we feel as humans in many different respects has some benefit, has some positive outcome that causes it to be a natural thing, because it's fairly universal. I mean, I think
it is. Yeah. Well, it's
yeah.
almost a fight or flight response.
Yeah.
It's almost a fight or flight response, which almost makes you think you're doing something you really shouldn't be doing. Because I wonder if the biological signal is, hey man, don't do this. they're gonna stone you, man.
Be careful. Tread carefully, because you never
tread carefully, or you better make sure it's good.
We never know when the customer that doesn't like your mint patties is going to be a tiger who comes and eats you. Is that is that what this is?
Maybe you'll get shunned. So all right, so that was one thing I wanted to bring up. Now there's another thing. I'm gonna try to put together a book of every writing for 1,000 days. Actually, it's gonna end up being like 20 books.
Wow.
If you do the math, if you write like 1,000 words a day, like I've been writing every day for a year, you basically end up writing 7 200-page books a year.
I mean, I'm no mathematician, but that's like pretty darn close to 365,000.
It is, and each book, and a book has like roughly 50,000. A 200-page book has roughly 50,000 words.
Is that right? So you're writing in 1 year, you've written the equivalent of about 7
correct
200-page books, a 1,400-page book.
That's how it comes out. Yeah,
wow.
a year. So now here's what's interesting. So I just want to do that, and I want to, because people have asked.
You're the Stephen King of rambling, rambling chocolate focused emails.
Yeah. The Leo Tolstoy of chocolate centric minutia. But here's what's interesting, and this made me think of you too, because you just showed me a video of you out snowboarding. And you're just carving down this hill, and you just look good. You're just graceful. You're floating back and forth. How long have you been snowboarding for? Like 3 years?
Yeah, 2.5 years. Yeah.
2.5 years. And I bet if we go back and watch a video of you when you on your first day out or your first month out.
Oh, I have them. It's excruciating.
That's
Yes.
it. But that's pretty interesting to me, right? This is all kind of one issue. You
Mhm.
watch them and you go, man, I kind of sucked. And then you watch yourself 3 years later and you go, wow, I'm pretty good. So I was thinking about what would be the
But
right
do
way
you
to do
do
this.
you
Yeah.
ever watch yourself and go, wow, I'm pretty good? Do you ever read your writing and go, gosh, I'm a pretty good writer? Do you ever
I-
feel that sense of
I do sometimes.
Okay.
It's more now than before.
Right.
And I would imagine when you watch yourself on video now, you go like, dang, dude, I look all right.
The first thing I'd be like, screwed that up. I see the
yeah.
stuff I'm doing wrong, but you're right. Overall, I'm like, wow, I've really come a long way.
That's kind of the feeling you get.
Yeah.
So all right. So I was trying to think about what would be the best way to present this body of work.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking if there's other people out there that are interested in writing, it
Mhm.
might be interesting to not even clean these things up. Just put them up there and so like, this is my first 50 days. This is my second 50 days. This is my third. And you could see a progression of how you start off sucking and then it gets better as time goes on. So I'm putting just the first 50 days in a row and I'm reading these and I'm going, wow, like I thought these were kind of good. They actually kind of suck. When I was writing them, I thought they were good. And now, and this, this relates to ice cream. This is all one thing. You know how you kind of keep reiterating on it and you just try to make yourself get better. And that nervousness you feel might be an impulse to improvement. But and so my first instinct here was I'm gonna rewrite these. Like I want to just clean these up.
Because you're reticent to put stuff out there that you at your current phase of development, you feel like
because the idea of what I'm trying to write is good. The thought was good.
Right.
But my skill is not on par with the quality of the thought. Like I wasn't able to express a good thought the way I would be able to now because I've been really banging away at it every single day.
And it's interesting too, because it's not like you started by transcribing a bunch of grunts, like you weren't writing like, ooh, no, you were forming consent. You were still communicating and your thoughts were just as cogent at the time, but maybe you just didn't have the rhythm or the vocabulary or something that you've now become accustomed to.
That's part of it. And also somewhere here, probably when I started writing the book that I wrote. Hey, don't want to brag or anything, right? I wrote a book, no big deal.
Wow. I mean, why should you brag? You just write it. You've just written 7 books worth of blog posts, plus 2 children's books, plus an actual book. All in one year.
But somewhere in there, I bought Stephen King's book on writing, and I decided to be more serious. And I know when you got into snowboarding, you watched a lot of videos and you learned about all the gear. You actually took it serious. You took the skill development. That's good pod for our video watchers.
Oh, right people, we're filming. Is this being videoed?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I wouldn't have taken that if I'd have known that.
Okay, all right. So, but at some point, I took the idea of like trying to develop my skills seriously, which you have too with snowboarding, which has
and not just in snowboarding, but in many things, in fermenting cacao,
and chocolate. Same with Javier. Like I know for a fact he has researched soft serve. I know because I've talked to him about it. I'm not making that up, Brian.
Have you been checking Javier's browser history? Adam, come on, cop to it. Have you been checking his browser history?
Yeah, when he goes to the bathroom, I grab his cell phone and look at his browser. It's all about soft serve.
It's all soft serve. It's a smorgasbord of soft serve information.
Yeah. So somewhere in there, I started taking the skill of writing more seriously, and so now when I go back and read it, it's like, oh, this is not skillful. Like there's maybe some raw talent in there.
I understand what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? Yes, but it's not skillfully done because I didn't know what the skill set was.
Yes.
I didn't understand how you're supposed to do it because I hadn't studied it.
Here's something that I have. So I read the manuscript of your book, and on my recent trip to Peru, I read it in the as I was in various modes of transport. I wrote it, and I sent you some notes, not on content or stylistic or anything, just like more like fact checking mode.
Yeah, I put them all in there, by the way.
Right, and I sent you those on text. And one thing that really took me by surprise is, so you have a certain style of writing when you do your daily emails. It could be considered sort of staccato or sort of Hemingway-esque. It's a series of bursts of thoughts, some of which kind of stand alone. It all ties together, but you're not a long paragraph guy. You're more of a staccato burst of thought. And I was expecting the book to be that way too, but it wasn't. It was actually in a much more traditional style with a whole different flow. And I remember thinking to myself, man, Adam's skill as a lot of writers have one style, and it's incredible and impressive that they have their own voice to the point where if you read it, you absolutely know it's them. But I was not aware and couldn't have conceived that you would be able to be that expressive and that great at telling a story, but in two completely different modes of writing. One is sort of an online quick burst style of thinking, and the other is a way more fluid and flowing, narrative heavy, long form. I just didn't know you had that in you. And,
I didn't really know either, dude. Anyways,
but,
I didn't know.
You've been working on your skill set to the point where you're
Yeah.
now able to do things different ways and accomplish great communication in various forms. It's pretty impressive, bro.
Well, hey, so is like moving out to the jungle for 10 years and learning how to ferment cacao, and so is learning how to snowboard, and so is making soft serve.
Or learning the violin as your I'm sorry.
Or learning to play the piano and the violin. Yeah. So it's really an interesting thing to me, seeing how people and things improve over time.
Yeah.
I really find it cool because you could see it and you could feel it. And so that's why I was thinking maybe I'll just put this up there as it is, so people could see, and they could buy that, and then they could, if they read the book and they like the book, they could go like, wow, I can't believe this is really the same person. Mm-hmm. So it's just clear, hey, if you just do intentional practice and you do some research about how it's supposed to be done, and you really just work on refining the skill, and I just think it would be interesting to see it happen, because I've been able to see it happen with Javier firsthand. I've been able to see it with the chocolate, but those two things are hard because you really just show up and get whatever the current state of the product is right now. Mm-hmm. Right? We
don't have reference samples of the product.
Correct. There's not many formats in which you can see development over time.
Yeah.
Which is what people should see, honestly, because if you see something at its final state, its best possible version, it almost seems, what's the word I'm looking for? Unreachable. It almost seems impossibly good, like you can never get there. Yeah. Not that my book is going to be impossibly good, but but it's a book. It is, but it's a book, right? It's a finished product, but it started from these emails, which you said are totally different stylistically. But you can, if you practice, you could work your way up. So that's what I was thinking.
What we're really doing is sort of confirming and verifying the Malcolm Gladwell theory of the 10,000 hours, which is we do anything for 10,000. There are no natural born superstars. And what happens is you do something for 10,000 hours and all of a sudden you get pretty competent at it and you appear to be supernaturally good, but it's nothing supernatural about it. It's just the grind. You've ground your way into being an incredibly competent and expressive.
And Javier has been cooking for 20 years.
Yes.
So like sometimes I can't believe it, I can't, but can you still hear me, Brian?
Yes, I'm still hearing you.
Okay. I thought I saw my video freeze up. Sometimes Javier comes up with stuff that's just like almost, you can't figure out how he even came up with it. Mm-hmm. It's so good. But the answer is 20 years.
20 years of practice.
Yeah, the answer is 20 years of practice. And the answer for how our dark, our 68% dark chocolate is so good.
It's 15 years of fermentation, so we know exactly how to get the beans ready to be made to chocolate, and 700 years of experience on the Felkland team, so they know exactly what to do, and they know their machinery, and they know what to do intrinsically.
Yeah, and so the last thing I will say on this topic, or at least maybe what I would say is maybe a culmination of this topic, it should be taught to kids that there's some skill, because people do have a natural proclivity for things.
Sure.
Part of life is finding out what you're maybe natural at, but that alone won't make you really competent at something. It's a combination of the two. I don't recall in school anybody ever telling me you're going to have to, if you want to get good at something, you're going to have to practice this one thing for like many, many hours to get really good at it.
I don't. Yeah.
Did you ever get that? Did you ever
explicitly,
get that fact? I feel like I didn't even learn it until the Malcolm Gladwell book came out. Like,
sports wise, I think sports wise, the message is always, practice makes perfect. You do get that message a lot in sports, particularly. I remember a soccer coach. I don't remember their name but I must have been maybe about the age that my son is now. Dominic's 8. And he was sort of, he sort of got it hammered into my head real clearly that how hard and diligently you practice is how well you'll be able to play on game day. He was that first one that was able to crack through and make me understand that practice isn't just a goof around session so that you could show up to the game and be serious. You're serious in practice so that you can show up to the game, be serious, and see the results. And that was where it came into my consciousness.
And do you think
but in school, I never had a teacher who was able to make that connection of, I know math is tough for you. I know you're not loving it. The point is you have to do it because the way you practice, the way you do that homework is the way you'll do on your test. And that's the way you're going to live the rest of your life, proficient or not. It was never laid out to me in that kind of.
Yeah, there was always, I think when I was growing up, there's probably always a general encouragement of hard work. Sort of just general hard work. Like, hey, you got to work hard, man.
Like, hey, kid, go paint the garage. Stop
just work hard. Or even in school too. It's like, hey, you need to put your nose to the grindstone.
Time to buckle down, son.
Yeah, but I don't think there was ever a focus on choosing a skill and really refining it down, learning so like when you got into doing cacao processing, you read books, everything you could read from the 17th century to the 20th century. You brought in consultants.
I visited installations. I went and asked.
You went around. I mean, you really wanted to get good at this one skill, and then also you did your 10,000 hours and practiced it.
Right.
I don't remember anybody really saying, "Hey, if you want to get really good at a thing, whatever your thing is going to be, could be anything, could be sales, could be engineering. You just kind of, if you get into engineering, you go to engineering school, and then you work in that profession, and then you end up being good at it. But I don't recall there ever being hey, look, here is the recipe for being good at a thing that is your chosen thing. I don't know, and it seems like it's such an important thing to know, but it's not widely.
No, it's not. It's not as much a part of the DNA of kids' education as it should be. No doubt about it.
Or even college. I mean, even when you become an adult, like get into the adult world, it's hardly discussed.
It's not as vital a part of our sort of social fabric as it should be. I agree.
Yeah. So anyways, and then going back to the beginning, but even when you do get good at something, still every new attempt, if you really care, it never stops being nerve-wracking. You always have to deal with that. So weird.
If you as a writer ever was to put something out and think, yeah, and I'm weirdly not nervous. I really feel. Do you feel like that's the day when people would read it and go, "Oh,
I don't
know.
I don't even."
Does that mean that you are? Is complacency the death of excellence? Is that what we're trying to get to?
I'm sure it is. Sure it is. If I had to try to put my finger on what it is that's making me so nervous, and maybe this is what makes a lot of people nervous.
Hyperactive pituitary gland, I'd say. Probably that. Right?
It's physiological.
Yeah. It's just a purely physical response.
I'm bipolar. I have adrenal issues. Undiagnosed bipolar. Actually, that's nothing to joke about.
No, so come on, that was really inappropriate what you just said. I mean,
I know. Our grandma was bipolar. For that's worth. Yeah. So I have sympathy for that. So if I was trying to put my finger on it, it's just, I really want people, I'm just trying to make people happy. And I really, when it comes down to it, I just am hoping that somebody will read it and it will just like make them happy for 6 minutes. Because that's what it takes to read one of these emails is 6 minutes. I've timed it. So I'm just hoping like for 6 minutes, maybe somebody will be stoked. And that's all I really want as a result. That's all I really care about. But even on days where I write it, I go like, I know that was killer. Like, I just know. I know it's good. I can feel it. I know like everything. Even so, hitting the send button is really, it's terrifying. It terrifies me. I'm using the word terrifying here, Brian. That's how it
Yeah.
makes me feel. Like I could have a panic attack right before I hit send.
Wow.
It scares the crap
I
out of me.
I wouldn't have guessed that
I
because
know you wouldn't.
you're a confident guy and you hide it well. I would not have guessed that. Even though this whole writing thing is fairly new for you, you're
An accountant and a
yeah,
salesman.
and you're a 40. Are you 40 now?
I'm 40.
Yeah, you turned 40. So you're a 40-year-old guy who came to writing at like 36 or whatever. Like
Yeah, 30, 37, 38. Yeah.
yeah, fairly recently. And so, but in my mind, you're the kind of guy who's like, I can write, I'll just write. And you just write and you're naturally competent at everything. I don't sense that terror in you. I never have. You're the absolute fake it till you make it guy. Like
that I am. But Brian,
yes.
even after 7 years, 7 years processing cacao where it was good, weren't you nervous about the initial feedback on every single shipment?
Yes.
I was. Even after we had won awards, every new harvest, I was like, oh God.
I would taste the beans.
Please let the first person like this.
I would taste the beans, and you can objectively taste the quality. You know, you're hitting your profile. The taste is right where it's supposed to be, and then you send it, and you're like, oh man, I just hope because it's like wine. It has its better years and it has its years that aren't as high quality, and you're just like, even though you may feel like based on all your experience and all your organoleptic perceptions, maybe your taste buds are just fooling you. And it's going to get over there and they're going to be like, boy, oh boy, the chocolate here, it's subpar. It's subpar. And
nothing would be more heartbreaking.
I would much rather hear I hated it than to hear, you know what I mean? I'd rather take a swing and a miss than just dribble a bunt back to the pitcher.
Because probably if they hated it, there's some glaring issue that you could fix.
It's something solvable. But if it was just it's like, well, there just wasn't quite enough pollen in the air this year.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's out of my control. There's nothing I can do. Yeah. So I do know what you're talking about. You never really get over. Perhaps we're going to receive a flood from a commentary from the dozens of people that listen to this podcast.
We might receive 8 or 9 comments.
It's quite possible that we do. And perhaps this is something that is our trait. Although you said you spoke to one of the elders in your congregation, and he said the same thing. And I've certainly heard many. I heard an interview with Tom Hanks the other day, who confesses to getting terrified every time he does basically anything. And he's one of the best of all time. This guy's practically the GOAT. Yeah. So it isn't just us. It's a common human condition, and I don't know what the benefit that it gives us for survival is, but there must be one.
But and the other big skill here that we haven't really talked about is, even though you're terrified, you still hit send. Or even though it really makes you nervous, you still put the container filled with cacao on the boat and send it off, right? You still keep going out to Campo and harvesting.
Right.
You're Tom Hanks, you still keep making movies, even though, right? So the other skill is just, I'm real, or for the elder we talked about, like, I'm really afraid, but this is what I committed myself to doing. Mm-hmm. So no matter what I'm feeling, I'm just going to go ahead and move forward with it.
I have to, because I need to get paid, or I've made an obligation to somebody, or this is being expected by people that I care about, or you can just rationally say, all right, I'm going to put that emotional thing aside, because the rational part of me knows, like, there's some objective basis for thinking and knowing that this is going to work out well, and that this is of the same quality that it needs to be. And so maybe it's just that so that sort of, is it irrational, that fear, or again, does it serve a survival purpose? I think it probably is fight or flight. It probably goes back to not being hunted on the savannah way back when.
Right. Not showing yourself in front of, not putting yourself in a vulnerable situation where everybody's looking at you.
Right.
Where you're making yourself the center of attention.
There are species for which that is a survival strategy. Birds that have crazy plumage to attack a mate, and humans do that when we dress to try to get interest, from romantic interests of ours. But you're right. There's a certain survival.
Well, I know when you go out on the town, you're very flamboyant.
I mean, I don't like to brag, but total peacock over here. No, but it's really interesting that you're right. Even though you and I, between us, there's a half a dozen things that we're just objectively really good at.
We have
Right?
become good at them, yes.
Yes, we've become good at them, and we've heard enough feedback, and we have compared it to enough other things that we know that we're objectively good at those things, and 90 something % of the people would agree, which is a quorum, and yet we continue to be now terrified is a strong word, nervous, disquieted,
Yeah, and so
anxious.
and maybe,
Those are one thing, but terror is a whole different level.
because you said the writing thing is pretty new, and
Mhm.
we've been serving up chocolate for going on 15 years, so maybe that
Right.
could be, the nervous, the terror turns into nervousness.
Mhm.
But I really, man, I lose my breath almost. It's like,
Do you get a lot of feedback? Do you get a lot of quote unquote positive reviews
oh,
for your writing?
it's almost all positive.
But I mean, do a lot of people write back into
Yeah.
I get emails. I get so many emails that come into the company that are my purview to answer that say, love those emails, keep them coming.
Yeah.
So many of them I don't even pass that on to you anymore.
No, yeah, and I probably get,
and you probably get some
yeah,
directly.
I do. I get a lot. Yeah.
Do you get emails saying your writing is garbage, sir?
Once in a while.
Sending me, yeah. So it does occasionally happen, but the numbers are overwhelmingly in favor.
Yeah, and it's not even it's not the guys who think I'm garbage. It's kind of like if one of our best customers comes in and hates our new product. I really am, it's like, hey, I love you guys with that new product. I didn't like that. Like, I really don't want to let that person down, So it's more for the people who like me. I don't want to send them something where they're going to think like, God, why do you even like this guy? This guy sucks now. He used to be pretty good. Now he sucks.
Is it the Wizard of Oz syndrome where what we're concerned is they're going to rip back the sheet and there's not going to be some masterful author there who's typing away with noble ideas and a big brain and all that. It's just going to be some dude in a t-shirt in his house, just like pecking away at a typewriter, and it's going to be like, that's what it is.
I just want, we could keep delving, but I know for me, it's probably has to do with being a people pleaser. I really would like to make people happy if I can. I mean, that's really.
We'll keep trying, Adam, because someday you're bound to make it happen.
Someday keep working on it. But so, hey, man. So to sum up, dude, to sum it all up, we're just going to keep going anyways. And the soft serve is delicious. And,
so anybody who's listening or watching this, who's within driving range of Issaquah, Washington,
come on out. Yeah,
you got a hankering for some soft serve. Let me tell you, you won't be disappointed. The ice cream, the base itself is delicious. The products that we're going to sprinkle on top of them for you are delicious. Overall, it's if you take delicious, Adam, and then you pile more delicious on top of it, what do you have? It's double delicious.
You double it.
It's double delicious. In fact, I would even go as far as to say that 1 + 1 might even equal like 2.5, going on 3.
Oh, so are you saying the sum is greater than the parts?
I'm saying the sum of the deliciousness is greater than the delicious inputs to this soft serve. It's going to be.
I like it. Yeah. All right. And just for anybody who wants to meet me and Brian and I, which one?
Brian and me. Because you would take away the Brian and you would just assume it's you, and then you wouldn't say anyone who wants to meet anyone who wants to meet me. So Brian and me.
Yeah, or me and Brian. I could probably go either way.
Oh, that's just rude.
Brian and me. Sorry, I don't want to be rude. So anybody who wants to meet Brian and me in person, we're in there every Saturday morning. We work an owner shift. Come by Fortunato Chocolate. Come by
9:30 to 2:30 Saturday mornings in the.
We're there every time
in the retail store. We're there.
You can get the full Chocolate Bros experience live and in person.
I wonder if that's better live and in person, or perhaps the filter of a podcast actually.
Yeah, because you could like pause it. You could pause this and revisit it later.
Right.
Or if you don't like it, you could just
shut fast forward. Yeah, I was saying the fast forward. We might be underestimating
or just
even delete. Even just deleting it might be really satisfying.
Well, if you're listening to it online, you probably aren't going to delete it, but you just go on to some other video.
Oh, well, thank you for your pedantic take on my thanks, Adam.
So there's a million listeners to your favorite podcast. Like, I don't like this. I'm gonna delete it. And then it's just gone.
Gone forever. Like, that's it.
I'm pulling this down from YouTube. Nobody else will see it. Come on and visit us, and then Brian, I'm getting into the wrapping it up now. Is there anything else you want to say before I start to?
I'm going to say one thing. You mentioned YouTube. For anyone who's out there who wants to learn about something that you've probably never considered before, I was just in Peru. And I was down there, and I was with my daughter, who's 15 years old, who does this Peruvian dance called the Marinera Norteña. And this is a Peruvian folkloric dance that is seldom, very, very little known outside Peru and the Peruvian diaspora around the world. But within Peru, it's extremely popular and extremely well known. This is a partnered dance that a young woman and a young man do together. It's highly stylized, and it's very, very physical. It's very demanding. I was down there in Cajamarca, Peru, in the High Andes Mountains, and my daughter, who is a very proficient world championship level marinera dancer, was in a competition that weekend. And I was there, and she won the competition going away. She took home the trophy for that competition, and I was there, and I filmed it, and I put it up on YouTube. So if anybody is interested in seeing my daughter and her championship Marinera Norteña dance, all you'd have to do is go to YouTube and type in Amara Horsley Marinera. Amara is Amara. Horsley is HORS like Sam, LEY. And Marinera is MARINERA, Marinera. And if you type in Amara Horsley Marinera, you'll see two videos. One is from the World Championships like 5 years ago, and one was just recently posted. The lighting is terrible. That wasn't my fault. That was the light they had on there, and it's just a cell phone, so the sound quality is great. But you'll see some really amazing dancing, and in an art form that most people haven't been exposed to. So that's the last thing.
Bro, send me that YouTube link.
Sure will.
So that when I send out the link to the podcast, I will include that link in the email as well.
Oh, fantastic.
And that way, all of our, everybody, even the people who don't necessarily listen to the podcast, but the people who get the emails can check out Amara. I was at my father-in-law's wedding a couple of months ago, and a couple of our cousins did a marinera, and it's really cool dance, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful, dude.
When it's done well, it's mesmerizing.
It is. And I like that the dude is a dude and the woman's very effeminate, and they kind of chase each other around. I mean, it's very cool.
It's very flirty without being inappropriate in any way. And it's very athletic, very graceful, just a beautiful dance, very interesting, with a weird mix of the music is almost kind of martial.
It's almost like a march.
Yeah. I can't quite explain it. You kind of have to see it to believe it. But anyhow, I'll send that out because I'm just proud of my daughter. But just because we're on the topic of Peru and you mentioned YouTube, it's a great insight into something that's very, very Peruvian for the folks.
Yeah, love it. All right. So everybody, thank you so much for your time. Check us out at www.fortunatochocolate.com. We can't express deeply enough how much we appreciate all of y'all, all of your support. We wouldn't be able to have our business or do these podcasts or have the shops if it wasn't for our wonderful customer. We're in a symbiotic relationship. We'll do our best to make good products. If y'all will patronize our business, and we'll just keep doing it like that as long as you let us. So thank you, Brian. Any parting words?
Echo that completely. We appreciate everybody so much, and we look forward to hearing from you, to seeing you in the shop, and to just sending out good, delicious stuff for you to enjoy. So thank you all so much, and Fortunato, yum!
All right, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.